The year is 1972, a year that would change the world forever. Richard Nixon becomes the first US president to visit China. The Godfather hits the screens, revolutionizing cinema. But amidst the political drama and Hollywood glitz, a quiet revolution is taking place in the corner of a suburban arcade. Within this bustling arcade, an unassuming electronic game is just waiting to be played. The cost? Just a quarter. Those parting with their spare change don't realize it yet, but they are at the precipice of a new era. Now fast forward to today. That blossoming era has exploded into a full-fledged universe with worlds of different gaming models. From simple coin-operated machines to today's complex economic systems within games, we've come a long way, and the journey is far from over. So how do we get here? What are the key points that have shaped the course of this fascinating industry? And more importantly, where are we heading next? Our adventure starts in the golden age of gaming, the 1970s. In the arcade era, the business model was rather straightforward and direct. It was primarily pay to play. The majority of income for arcade operators came from the coins or tokens that players inserted into the machines to play games. Operators also made profits from ancillary sales such as food and drinks, with many arcades developing a social atmosphere to encourage players to stay longer. To attract players, game developers focused on creating games that provided short, intense experiences. The difficulty level of these games was often set high to ensure that each play wouldn't last too long, thereby encouraging players to spend more money to continue playing or attempt to beat their high scores. In all its simplicity, the model was efficient. It tapped into players' competitiveness and the arcade's social nature to keep the business thriving, fostering a symbiotic relationship between developers and operators where the success of one benefited the other. The era of home consoles represented a major shift from public arcades to the comfort of living rooms. Companies like Atari and Nintendo led the way, offering consoles with starter games and then selling additional game cartridges. Despite the higher cost compared to arcade play, gamers embraced the model for the convenience and the opportunity to engage in longer and more complex games. Licensing deals became popular during this period, offering another revenue stream and a potent marketing strategy. This era traded the steady coin drop income for higher upfront costs and subsequent game purchases, making gaming more accessible and diverse. The PC gaming era began to bloom alongside the home console era, but took a slightly different direction. During this time, a major shift occurred from game cartridges to big box games, which usually included a CD or floppy disk, a manual, and sometimes extra goodies as part of the package. The software was the main product in PC gaming. Game developers would create games and then distribute them through physical retail stores in these big box formats. The larger physical presence and the additional items within the box added a sense of value and tangibility that appealed to consumers. Just like the console gaming model, the business model was pretty much a one-time purchase strategy. The games were often more expensive than their console counterparts, but they offered a different type of experience, often more complex, strategic, and in-depth due to the increased computational power and input versatility of PCs. The rise of PC gaming also paved the way for more niche markets and genres, such as strategy games, simulators, and point-and-click adventures that were less prevalent in the console market. This era contributed to the diversification of gaming styles and audiences. With the rise of internet connectivity and massively multiplayer online games, also known as MMOs, a new business model was ushered into the gaming industry, the subscription model. In this approach, rather than paying once to own a game outright, players would pay a regular recurring fee, typically on a monthly basis, for access to a game. Massively multiplayer online role-playing games, also known as MMORPGs, like World of Warcraft and EVE Online became synonymous with this model. The expansive worlds they provided for exploration, the persistent nature of the gameplay, and the social interactions they facilitated all combined to offer a type of gaming experience that was seen by many players as justifying a regular subscription fee. For the developers and publishers, the subscription model provided a steady and predictable revenue stream. It allowed them to continually fund the maintenance and ongoing development of their games. Furthermore, this model also brought about an evolution in the player-developer relationship.
We get a lot of feedback from players, and it's great. We watch and read as much feedback as we can.
Because players were now paying on a recurring basis, they expected ongoing service, support, and content updates.
We really want to zero in on the most nuanced player comments and have conversations with you about specific issues.
And it's challenging to have a conversation with tens of thousands of people.
So we're kicking off something new, and we're calling it the WoW Community Council.
This meant developers had to work harder not only to attract players, but also to retain them over the long term. The impact of the subscription model was significant and far-reaching. It represented a departure from the single purchase model that had dominated the gaming industry since its inception. As internet connectivity expanded and the era of mobile gaming dawned, the gaming industry found a new way to monetize games, the free-to-play model with microtransactions. Unlike the upfront cost of buying a game or the recurring fee of subscriptions, this model offered games free of charge to start playing. But what's the catch? The catch was that players could spend money on in-game items, features, or advantages, the microtransactions. The business model was rapidly adopted by mobile games like Clash of Clans and Candy Crush Saga, and multiplayer online games such as League of Legends and Fortnite. The strength of this model lay in its capacity to remove the initial financial barrier to entry, allowing games to reach vast audiences across the globe through internet and app stores. Once a player was hooked, they might be inclined to spend money on microtransactions, often for cosmetic enhancements, time-saving boosts, or competitive advantages. These purchases might be small, often ranging from $1 to a few tens of dollars, but with millions of players, they added up to significant revenue. Importantly, this model relied heavily on what's known as whales, a small percentage of players who spent far more than the average player. While this model opened up gaming to a much broader audience, it was not without controversy. Some criticize it for promoting addictive spending habits and creating pay-to-win scenarios where players could gain significant advantages over others simply by spending more money. Despite these concerns, the free-to-play and microtransaction model has proven to be extraordinarily successful and has fundamentally transformed the gaming industry's economic landscape. It has now become a standard feature in many games, whether they're free to start with or not. The evolution of internet speeds and infrastructure led to another major shift in the gaming industry: digital distribution. This was a leap from physical copies of games being the norm to games being downloaded directly to consoles, PCs, or mobile devices. This change revolutionized the industry's business model. It eliminated the need for physical production, logistics, and retail space, significantly reducing costs for game publishers. Moreover, it gave developers and publishers direct access to their consumers, providing opportunities for a closer relationship, quicker feedback, and more tailored marketing. Services like Steam for PC gaming, the PlayStation Store for Sony's consoles, and the App Store and Google Play Store for mobile games became the primary distribution channels for digital games. They offered gamers instant access to a wide range of games from big AAA titles to independent games, often at competitive prices and with the convenience of downloading from home. The shift to digital distribution also enabled new pricing models. Sales and discounts could be offered more frequently and easily, bundles of games could be packaged together, and early access allowed gamers to buy and play games that were still in development. Importantly, the rise of digital distribution also opened doors for indie developers. Without the need for physical production, smaller studios could self-publish their games on digital platforms, reach a global audience, and compete with larger publishers. This democratization has led to a boom in indie games and a greater diversity in game types and themes. However, this shift wasn't without challenges. Issues around digital rights management, ownership, and the permanence of digital goods came to the forefront. But despite these hurdles, digital distribution has become the dominant model for game distribution, continuing to evolve and shape the gaming industry. In the era of digital distribution and always online games, another business model quickly gained traction: downloadable content and season passes. This model represented another layer of monetization, allowing publishers to generate additional revenue beyond the initial game sale. Downloadable content is additional content that can be purchased or in some cases earned for a base game. It can come in various forms, ranging from additional levels or missions, new characters or skins, extra weapons or equipment, or even entirely new storylines. Some games, particularly those in the multiplayer online genre, implemented the concept of a season pass. This is a type of DLC that gives players access to a stream of new content released over a specified period usually aligned with a game's season. This seasonal content often includes new gameplay modes, maps, items, or challenges. The introduction of DLCs and season passes has led to a significant impact on the gaming industry's business model. They allowed developers to extend the lifecycle of their games, keeping players engaged for longer and providing an ongoing revenue stream. From a player perspective, DLCs and season passes offer the potential for a game to stay fresh and exciting with new content to look forward to. However, they've also been subject to some controversy, with criticisms about content being withheld from the initial release to be sold later as DLC, or about the quality and value of the extra content. Nonetheless, DLCs and season passes have become a standard part of the gaming industry's business model. They continue to evolve and adapt, shaping the way games are developed, sold, and played. The latest leap in the gaming business is the advent of cloud gaming and subscription services, transforming how games are distributed and monetized. Cloud gaming is like the Netflix of gaming. Streams games from the cloud of the player's device, bypassing the need for powerful hardware. On the other hand, subscription services like Xbox Game Pass offer access to a library of games for a regular fee, providing players with numerous options, including the latest releases from their parent companies. The revenue model here is subscription-based, providing developers a share of the earnings based on playtime or downloads. While these services offer great value and low entry barriers for high-end gaming, they require robust internet connectivity and consistent content investment to keep subscribers engaged. Despite these challenges, they represent a significant shift in the gaming industry, paving the way for a future where gaming could be as straightforward and accessible as streaming music or movies. In the newest frontier of the gaming industry, blockchain technology and non-fungible tokens, also known as NFTs, are starting to make their mark. These technologies have the potential to completely revolutionize the gaming industry's business model by bringing about true ownership of digital assets and facilitating player-driven economies. Blockchain technology offers a decentralized, secure platform where transactions are transparent and immutable. This could mean a fairer and more reliable system for in-game transactions, combating issues like fraud and duplication of rare items. NFTs, on the other hand, provide a way for players to own unique digital assets. These could be anything from in-game items like weapons or outfits to parcels of land in virtual worlds. Because each NFT is unique and ownership is recorded on the blockchain, players can truly own, trade, and even sell these digital assets, often for real-world value. While this technology is still in its early days in the gaming industry, early adopters like Gods Unchained and Illuvium have shown their potential of this business model. This model, if widely adopted, could give players a more significant stake in the games they play, leading to new avenues for player engagement and monetization. However, it's still an evolving model and carries its own set of challenges, from scalability issues to legal and regulatory concerns. It will be interesting to see how this new model evolves and how it impacts the future of gaming. If we have learned anything from the past, new business models in gaming are frequently met with controversy, but generally overcome them and become the new standard. Wow, we've taken quite the journey from the 70s arcades to the possible future of blockchain and NFTs. Gaming has always been about more than just play. It's about community, innovation, and the constant evolution of how we interact with and experience this form of entertainment. But remember, these business models don't exist in isolation. They overlap, coexist, and influence one another. Just as arcades didn't disappear with the advent of home consoles, newer models like NFTs and cloud gaming don't necessarily mean the end for game cartridges or DLCs. That's the beauty of this industry. It's ever evolving, and it's shaped by us, the gamers. So I'm curious, which era resonates with you the most? Do you miss the simplicity of the insert coin to continue days? Or do you prefer the endless possibilities of the modern gaming world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And who knows, your favorite gaming business model might just shape the future of the industry.